the Stars and Stripes, flag of the United States of America, the worldwide hope of all who, under God, would be free to live and do his will. Upon its folds is written the story of America, the epic of the mightiest and noblest in all history. In the days when peoples of old world groveled in abject homage to the heresy of the divine right of kings, a new constellation appeared in the western skies, the Stars and Stripes, symbolizing the divine right of all to life, liberty, happiness, and peace under endowment by their Creator. To what man or woman is given words adequate to tell the story of the building of this nation? That immortal story is written in blood and sweat, in heroic deeds and unremitting toil, in clearing the primeval forests and in planting of vast prairies where once the coyote and buffalo roamed. Onward swept the nation, spanning wide rivers, leaping vast mountain ranges, leaving in its path villages and farms, factories and cities, till at last this grand nation stood astride the continent from the Atlantic to the Pacific. This is the heritage of the people of the United States. It has been repurchased by each succeeding generation and must be re-won again, again, and again, until the end of time, lest it too shall pass like the ancient empires of Greece and Rome. The price of liberty is eternal vigilance, which was won at Lexington and Concord and Bunker Hill, had to be repurchased at Ticonderoga and Yorktown.
What John Paul Jones achieved upon the high seas in the War of Independence had to be repurchased by Commodore Perry on Lake Erie in War of 1812. The prestige and admire Dewey's victory at Manila Bay in 1898 was rewon by the naval battles in the seas about the far distant islands of the Pacific. After the sneak attacks upon Pearl Harbor and Manila in 1941 had summoned our country to assume its role in World War II. What our troops achieved under the Stars and Stripes at Chateau Thierry and Flanders in World War I, their sons were required to repurchase the War II and the bloody trek across North Africa on the beachheads of Europe and in the Battle of the Bulge.
The flag our American men raised at Iwo Jima was the same flag later raised in defense of Incheon, Busan, and Porkchop Hill in far off Korea. Then another generation under the same flag bled to stem the threat of communism in far off Vietnam. Our young people were again called to carry our flag in the defense of a free world in the actions of Grenada and Panama. Willingly, our brave men and women carried our flag in the honor of the American people into battle in Operation Desert Storm. And who among us will ever forget the sight of firefighters raising our flag over the ruins of the World Trade Center, the military personnel draping our flag on the side of the Pentagon, and the citizens of Somerset County, Pennsylvania, placing our flag near the site where brave Americans died fighting the hijackers of Flight Number 93. No other symbol can have offered such comfort as we still, today, endure the horrors of that day.
American armed forces have carried our flag in villages of Iraq, the mountains of Afghanistan, and the jungles of the Philippines, and wherever terrorism may reside. Their struggle against the sponsor of terrorism is the hardest battle yet, and this threat to our nation and to our way of life is certainly as great a challenge as our flag have ever seen.